So let's dive a little bit further into what a questionnaire should look like on a survey. So we're going to take a look and dissect what makes a very good survey question by looking at some very specific examples. We're going to start with this case study about the Olympics and whether or not the NHL playing in the Olympics had an effect. So the case study is, did removing the NHL players from the Olympics change Canadians' interest in the Olympics? So how did the survey want to find out about it? How did the survey ask about this? Well, they posed the following multiple choice question. So I'm going to read along here. As you may know, the NHL chose not to allow its players to participate in this year's Olympic Games. The NHL stated concerns over the costs, scheduling, difficulty, and potential injuries to players as its main cause for non-participation. How does this decision affect your likelihood to follow the hockey tournament in Pyeongchang? And Pyeongchang was where they were going to hold the Olympics. So you had 4 options. I will still watch with the same level of interest. I will still watch, but I don't care so much. And I'm not going to watch at all anymore. And D, I wasn't going to watch anyways. So this is an example of a closed-ended question, because it has four options for response. It's limiting, and there is a bit of a rating system going here, from like it very much to not like it at all. And then there's an option for people that are not going to watch anyways, and that's this. This is called the no response option. You always have to give people an option if they're not able to answer the question or they're not interested in it. So instead of just leaving it blank, there has to be that provided in a very good multiple choice question. So let's take another look at another case study. How do Canadians feel about dogs on airplanes? So the survey that was conducted only asked this question of people that said they don't want pets on the airplane. So you're only asking people that already said no pets, and they're looking for the reasons why they would say that. So which of the following would you say is your main reason for saying pets should not be allowed in the passenger cabin? If you have more than one reason for feeling this way, please choose the one you find most important in informing this perspective. And they give you 4 options or 5 options: allergies, cleanliness and hygiene, noise, smell, and something else. So this is an example of an open-ended question. Because they give you this option right here. And so it has options for everybody, and that's what makes it a good multiple choice question. Okay, let's take a look at one more. The case study is about how do Canadians feel about animals in captivity? And the survey question asked, now we have some questions about zoos and aquariums. So this is framing the questions, giving a bit of background. Basically a lead-in, and first, that means there's going to be more questions coming. When was the last time you visited a zoo or an aquarium? And they give you 5 options. So because there's only 5 options, it's a closed-ended question. You can't make up an answer. You have to choose one of those 5. And also there is a non-response option, which is very important. In a good multiple choice question. So surveys often ask about opinions, and so opinions can also be measured in a survey by using a rating scale. And sometimes they're called Likert scales or Likert scales. So here are two examples of how that is used. One uses these little emojis and how satisfied are you with our services, and you can go everywhere from unsatisfied all the way to be very satisfied. Or it can be a more numbered system, like in the second example here. Please indicate the degree in which you feel disagree with the following statement. I am happy with my purchase, and you have to circle how you feel. So if you feel you're very strongly agree, you want to do the one that's closest to the strongly agree. So number 4. And NA stands for not applicable, so this means not applicable. In other words, maybe you didn't make a purchase, this question has no meaning to you. That's what that is, and that's the no response option. And notice that in this example up here, there is really no response option. There's no place for somebody that didn't use the services to answer the question. You might feel neutral, but if you didn't use the services, then there is no option there. So that's a little bit of a weakness in that emoji version of the rating scale. Now, just one last thing I want to mention about these scales. Are they quantitative or qualitative? And it might seem that they're qualitative because they're asking you about how you feel, but because there is a number associated with each response and it can be measured, it's actually a quantitative observation. Because you can measure it. So let's make a list of what makes good survey questions. The survey questions should be clear. They should only ask one question. They should provide options for everybody, for all scenarios. And they should be easy to measure the results. So sometimes these open-ended questions are not so easy to measure the results in, and that would make it hard to use the survey.